Today's project features poop and explosions, but not explosive poops. But actually, now that I think about it, no, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dev Diary, a series where I try to make my own video games. And so if game dev videos are your thing, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Our project for today was inspired by the old school classic Bomberman. It also kind of mixes in elements of Pac-Man too. See, in this free-for-all, each pig has to collect food in the form of these strawberries. In doing so, will feed their food meter. And when maxed out, they can do one of two things. Either drop a bomb or poop. As all pigs do, of course. Now, bombs are pretty self-explanatory. If caught in the explosion radius, our pig-like combatants will take damage. Maybe. Let me explain. When the explosion event occurs, we also check the position of those unfortunate souls. And if they so happen to be behind a wall or behind a pile of poop, they will not take any damage. In other words, any poop caught between a pig and a bomb will sacrifice itself to protect the pig from damage. And so you may be asking yourself, what's stopping pigs from simply pooping everywhere? Well, it is possible to walk through poop, but it will slow down the pig's movement. It's also quite slippery, which can sometimes force some unfortunate contenders into a corner, effectively trapping them. Because it's not only poop that can push a pig around. Pigs can push their opponents around too. Wanna risk taking damage to push an opponent into an explosion? Wanna get a rival caught in some poop as you drop your own explosive trap? It's all very much a possibility. What's also possible is that if you enjoy the content, supporting me on Patreon is the best way to help me keep making it, and doing so can get you access to exclusive content and downloads, and even early access to the weekly Dev Diary videos before they're released on YouTube. Now, for the sake of simplicity, the enemy pigs have two modes: forage and fight. They will continuously pursue the random fruit drops until their food meters are filled, to which they will switch to fight mode and hunt down the nearest pig to their location. And when near enough, they will either decide to drop a bomb or poop. Meanwhile, they're also always on the lookout for any dropped bombs. And if they find themselves in the radius of a bomb, they will make an attempt to move outside of said radius. They will not take poop into consideration, as their main priority is always simply to run away and avoid walls. And let me tell you, getting the collisions to work right were a nightmare. Collisions are, I think, one of the more annoying / difficult things to do right in game dev in general, but this was extra difficult due to just how many ways that things can push and pull the pigs. The CPU pigs in particular were a challenge because their pathing uses gamemaker's pathing system to avoid walls. And this brings with it two big issues. First, the motion disregards sprite boundaries, and so the depth illusion is sometimes broken. But more importantly, when in pathing mode, CPU units become immovable because they adhere to the path and only the path, which, you know, kinda somewhat defeats the purpose of the pig's ability to push each other around at any time. And so these concerns were handled by only resorting to pathing as like a last resort and only in short bursts. Unfortunately, the depth issue still persists, which really makes me want to like invest in developing like my own custom pathing system. But anyway, that was the project, and for the first time like in a long time, the reason that I stopped early on this one was due to a lack of confidence. Like, there were originally plans for like other types of bombs and effects, which, you know, just to add to that, a secret poop bomb would have made for some fun shenanigans. But anyway, the reason that this idea was dropped and ultimately led to the end of the project was simply not knowing how to program the AI to behave towards the different bomb types. You know, for example, a bomb with weird movement behaviors like a L shape or a T shape. Is it really all that fun to simply have the CPU enemies just run from everything like the same way over and over again? I don't know, maybe I was just starting to get too in my own head about this thing, you know? So what do you think? Could weirder bombs have worked, especially if the CPU's reaction was just to run in the opposite direction every time? As always, I'd love to hear from y'all, so be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. With that said, brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.